useful, and I want to share two more with you. So this one is a very interesting exercise. It's called Who Am I? And this, I think, can be a bit deep and, philosophical. But this is built on Wayne Dyer's philosophy. What Wayne Dyer says is that a lot of times we are just connecting through the ego, which is limited in its potential, whereas we ignore this unlimited potential inside us that has the ability to do a lot more if we weren't restricting ourselves to the ego. And what is the ego? Which is, it can be a debate, but these set of questions I developed from Wayne Dyer's philosophy is something that I use when I come into a networking event like this, or when I go and have a coffee with someone important, anything that where I'm going to be meeting people. I do this often. Sometimes I do it even when I'm not doing all of that, if I'm just starting my work. And I'd like to go through this with you so you get to see what it is. So if I am not what I have, who am I? So you ask, who am I at the end of every one of these statements. So what do I have? So when you think about this, all sorts of material things would come to mind, right? Car, house, spouse, children, different things that we have. If I was not what I had, who would I be? Sometimes it can be really deep when you think about it like that, because we might, be trained to think like that for a long, long time, and all of a sudden you have to let that go. Can be deep, but think of it like you're wearing 3 jackets, one on top of the other. Okay, 3 jackets, and you've been walking around all of your life. You've been walking around with these 3 jackets on, without even knowing that you have the ability to take them off and be free. So the first jacket is that if you're not what you have, I'm not saying you are not what you have. If, for example, let's just consider that. If you're not what you had, who would you be? So taking off all of those, spouse and relationships and all the things that we have, if you take all of that off, what's left? If I am not what I do, the second question, who am I? So when you say, what do I do? Things like roles come to mind. So being a parent, being a wife, being, a doctor, and our profession, writer, accountant, whatever we do. If you weren't that, who would you be? So that's the second jacket. Pretend that you're taking that off and see what's left. And, go with me. Sometimes it feels a little bit threatening, but just for fun, let's just try it today. And if you feel comfortable, you can take it and walk out with it. Or if you don't feel comfortable, you can leave it in the room, right? Yeah. So the next one, this is my personal favorite, and I think a lot of us get absorbed with this quite a lot. So if I am not what others think of me, who would I be? This is that third jacket that we've got on. So we've heard things about ourselves. I'm good at this, you're good at this, you're good at that. You're so much of this, you're less of that. All of these opinions are opinions of other people. It's not our own opinion, and we don't need that. Just for a moment, let's see if we can just get rid of that and see who we are. So all of these opinions you have, let that go. Pretend you're taking that jacket off now, and let that go. Who would you be? All of this is gone. And it's okay if you're feeling blank, because it's much better to feel blank than be crowded with everybody else's opinion and their values and beliefs. Because when you're blank, you always have that ability to start building yourself up the way you like to be. And when you do all of that, different things might come up at different times. And just to give you an example, sometimes when I do this, the one thing that always comes up, at least comes up now, is that I'm here to help people make a positive difference in their life. That's what comes up for me when I take these layers off often. And sometimes different things come up, and that's okay, because this is your definition, and you don't need to hold on to it when you don't need to. You can let it go and create your own. But I'm talking about this today specifically in relation to networking, because when you walk into a networking event, we get carried away thinking I am an accountant, so I have to go there and be the accountant and be this expert that I am. And that's a big burden to carry. You don't need to carry that. We can just be there and have a good time. And think about all the times you might have not been able to enjoy the food or the conversation just because you were carried away with these, making an impression on people. come to have lunch and talk, but we don't do that. We just talk, eat, half-heartedly, half-mindedly, and then we talk here, there, half there, and then we leave and we go, oh, how good did I give my business card to? Oh, I forgot that person. But people do business with you because of who you are, not what you do, right? Who you are inside. When they feel that with you, they go, this person really gets me. And you've forgotten to make that impression if you're carried away with your roles and goals and everything else. So when you come into a meeting like this, maybe when you're driving to that meeting, you can just do this exercise in your mind so that it really grounds you. We don't need to be this big built-up personality that we've taught ourselves to be. We can just be a normal person. You can come in, you can do all fancy things in your work and your family and everywhere. But we don't need to be that person when we go and connect with people. We can just be a normal person who's approachable and open to just having a conversation. And all the really successful personalities, if you look at them, they have something about them that makes them special, which is they are themselves. And I'd like all of you to explore this topic. I find this really fascinating, and I hope this will, shed some light in your own life. So this exercise, if you thought that was deep, this is going to go deeper. This exercise is called listening with the heart. This is very, very humbling, I have to tell you, because you start to feel so free when you do these things. You just go, I can be myself. Like you give yourself that permission finally to be yourself and not be worried about what other people are saying or what your boss is thinking about you, about how well you did that presentation. You don't have to. And guess what? You don't care what other people think about you. People think you're awesome. Yeah, and they go, how did you do that? And you just have to say, you can love me, you can hate me, I do not care. I'm just going to be me. It's up to you. And that's when people start liking you. They go, oh, you've got something different. What's this? I have to find out. So this exercise, what we could do is, if you're comfortable, we can pair up in the table and we can go through this exercise. So you just get a little bit of a start up. And the reason we're doing this today is because we went through those frameworks, those building blocks, but it may come to a point in your conversation where this person is sharing something that's really important for them, especially when it goes to the higher, the hierarchy of, identity or vision or something that they're really passionate about. And a lot of us do not know how to listen. They're talking about something really important for them, and if you're not listening, what are they going to think? They're going to be, first they're going to be really vulnerable at that situation when they're sharing something, and they have to have that trust in you to share that, and you're letting them down if you're not fully present. And a lot of us want to be fully present, but we don't know how to be fully present. So this exercise is going to help you make a move in that direction and start exploring how you can be fully present. So what we're going to do is we're going to pair up. So pair up with the person next to you, and one of you will be a speaker and one of you will be a listener. Right? So the speaker, you've only got one job. You've only got one job, so what you have to do is think about an incident in your life that may have changed things for you. Okay? Can I just have a hand up of who wanting to be a speaker? Just in the pairs, so that you know. One of you have to be a speaker, so you don't really have an option. Maybe the three of you. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, if you're not really there, then you can do it in three. So we have a speaker for each group. Yeah? Okay. And so the person who's listening, you've got the harder job. So what you're going to do is, as this person starts talking, what you'll find is when you're listening, all of your awareness will be in your head. Right? You're trying to understand this person. You're trying to figure out what they're saying and what kind of person they are. You're trying to get it through your head, just how do I understand? And this is all rational and very logic oriented, very masculine to be honest. And not men-like, just masculine, because all of us have men and female personalities in us. So all through the logic and all of this, the head really dominates when we listen to people, generally. Unless, you naturally tend to be or done work like this. What you're going to do is start off with your awareness sitting in your head, and then at one point in the conversation, when it feels right for you, you're going to shift that and bring your awareness to your heart. When it feels right. And trust me, you'll know when to do that. You don't have to worry about, you know when to do it. A lot of times we just don't listen to it. We know when to do that, we just ignore it. Pretend like it's not there. So at some point in the conversation, you will be called to shift your awareness to your heart, and all you have to do is just try to feel this person. Instead of trying to understand them, just feel this person for what they're saying, what they're sharing, and just be there in your heart. That's it. You don't have to do anything else. Sounds simple, right? See how we go. So, how long would we have? That's good, maybe 4 minutes or? Yeah, so we've got 4 minutes for you to do this, so take as much as you want, and if you're done, we'll wait for everybody else to finish. So go ahead with your pair, and so the speaker is going to be sharing an incident in their life that changed them, their experience, and the listener is just going to go through this exercise. So here we go.